Symbol is the final player for AZUBU. He's going to have to go through 2 FXOpen players, the first of which will be Hurricane, who already just defeated a Zerg.
Yeah, and Hurricane is not too... Well, the problem for Symbol is really that this is one of his worst matchup that he has in Heart of the Swarm. He faced a lot of very strong Protoss players in the past, but in the best-of-1 system, a lot can happen. And the recent 4 games that he played against Protoss didn't go too well. He lost to Trap, Hero, SOS, and Crank. So he really needs a win right now, and AZUBU needs him. Can he do it? He needs to win 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
And he needs to face or defeat not only Hurricane, but also the next player that is going to step into the booth, who will be the 4th player for Team FXO. What has Choya up his sleeves?
Well, we have a very sick map color. It's going to be Red City, and
sick.
I'm excited for it. Red City recently being introduced to the ladder pool as well, so a map that probably most of you are familiar with. And that's one of those AZUBU coach smiles there. He's got these cheeks that just make it so like he has to permanently smile, it feels like.
It's not even a choice. He actually tries to frown the entire time, but it just won't work.
Yeah.
And then the players are like, no, down. And he's like, I'm trying.
He's like not programmed to frown.
Doesn't work with him.
Well, this is tense. This is the last life of AZUBU. If Symbol loses here, then them getting into the playoffs is no longer up to them.
Yeah.
Even if they win their next match after this, which is against MVP, which is very difficult, then it's still not necessarily over for them. They have to hope.
Exactly. And on the other hand, of course, next week we will have StarTale versus ALGIM, AZUBU versus MVP, and we have FXOpen versus the Prime team. All those matches will count. They will be really important. And yeah, as you said, if AZUBU loses today, then they have not only to rely on either LGIM or on the Prime team to do well, but they have to defeat Team MVP, and that's not an easy feat, as several teams this season already shown. The only team to defeat MVP so far was Mason.
Yeah. They only took 1 loss. No flawless team this season.
Yeah.
We only saw that once, I think, in Jupiter when TSL went flawless. Well, here we go. Red City, Symbol up against Hurricane here. If Symbol loses, it's all over. This is the GSTL FXOpen up against AZUBU. Counter and Wolf.
Starting to the top right, the Zerg player for Team AZUBU. It is
AZUBU Symbol.
TSL Zerg from long ago.
Last player for his team. Starting to the bottom left, his first opponent. This is, of course, for Team FXOpen, the Protoss player.
FXO Hurricane.
Usually used as a sniper, but did get an all-kill against an SOSA.
Yeah.
A Symbol can do this. He has already reverse all-killed LGIM before in the past. He's been through tougher times as the final player and come out. So for him, even though this is not necessarily an encouraging place to be, he knows this is absolutely doable.
This is going to be intense, to be quite frank with you. I mean, Symbol taking down 2 opponents. I just feel that with all the players that we have on the FXOpen roster, this is going to be so tough for him right now. And traditionally, he's not the strongest player against Protoss and Heart of the Swarm, so it's not going to be easy for him. Hurricane already showing with the Gateway first here that he will, at least he wants to be aggressive. He wants to have the option of being aggressive here.
Yeah.
And Symbol is starting with a hatch first against this, of course.
You really have to respect the gateway opening as a Zerg player. You can't play the normal style you would against a Forge. You can't expand as riskily. You can't play as greedy.
Spotting a gateway usually means to take gas right away, to have the speed there in case there is some kind of gateway aggression coming your way, and also a delayed timing for the 3rd base, and this is what we are most likely going to see. We have the drone scout out on top of the Overlords, already getting into position here. Drone to the top left, not spotting anything, but immediately heading to the bottom left.
Yep.
Where it will be finally successful, and then we should see the gas for Symbol.
It's so unfortunate for him that even though he drone scouts, he gets the scout late. And as a result, his speed will be slightly delayed as a result. And, you know, the drone is still not quite there yet.
Yeah, he won't be too upset about it. He just wants to get in there before the normal timing.
He sends a drone out here, but he's not going to make the hatchery. He's going to come in here, see the gateway, and then turn around.
At least he should. Oh!
He's patrolling it. Oh, he actually goes for it.
Wow, that is ballsy. Okay, that's risky. Usually you don't see that happening because that is a very early third base. This is a base at 345, the third one. That's what you do when you're up against a Forge first play. When you're up against a gateway first, there's the potential of being attacked with 3 or 4 gateways, and very early in the game because the warp gate research is done so much faster. So the usual response is to delay the third a little bit, go into gas first, and tech so that you can actually counter this. But Symbol is taking a chance.
Yeah. And the question is, will Hurricane see it? Because right now in his mind, he's probably thinking, okay, now you take your gas and the game goes on normally. And if he doesn't send a probe out, which he is doing right now, then he wouldn't know. He should be able to see this. The Overlord will see the probe, but he still has enough time to go check for the third.
You should see the additional gateways very soon here for Hurricane. Goes into Stargate right away before adding gateways.
Yeah, that's a little bit strange. He's also sending his probe to a weird place. Oh, it's because he doesn't know exactly which location his opponent spawned at all, I guess, but...
There's the scout though. He sees the Stargate, actually double checks with the Zerglings. He goes in and he's like, "What? Wait a second, what was that?"
Yeah, a little bit shocked to see a Stargate like this. We don't see a Stargate follow-ups like this to gateways all too often. There's a lot of different ways to play it. What we will probably not see is Oracles, just simply because in this matchup, Queens are pretty good at defending that.
And you don't necessarily have to go into Phoenixes either. You can go for the Void Rays and just support them with ground units to do damage. We don't have a Forge just yet, so upgrades, of course, are a lot later than when you start with a Forge opening. But Hurricane spotted the third base.
And he goes Phoenixes. Interesting response, considering that he saw the third base and how risky it was.
Symbol skipped speed for the Lings and heads into a Roachborn instead.
And the probe will actually saved.
Okay, now he gets it. He wasn't actually on 100 gas. I mixed the tabs up for a second and thought he already had it. But once that he has the 100, he goes into speed.
Yep. Phoenix is checking for Overlords right now. He will find the first one. The second one, not necessarily going to be found. I love this Mothership Core just flying around because he knows that for a very long time he can just do this, and he might be able to catch a Ling or two and get some additional scouting.
If Symbol is not being pressured, if Hurricane actually does not try to take this third base down, that would be a great option.
I don't know, Legend. There's nothing really special in there. Oh my god, there's a relatively uninteresting hole, Legend.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what it was. That was like, what?
I'm like, yeah, it does kind of look like a swarm host, but
as I was trying to say, like, if that is not being attacked by Hurricane, then Symbol has actually like the best possible start into this game. Getting away with a little bit of greed against the opponent's opening, getting the Spore Crawlers right now. There is a force moving out for Hurricane though, so he has a couple of gateway units that are aiming for the third, but at this point, Symbol should be fine. The problem for him being supply block, that is an issue.
Oh, the Zealot Warping here. Yeah, well, as you're saying, the supply block an issue. The Zealot Warping ended up being okay, regardless of the...
Forcing the Warping. But still, the supply block is definitely a problem, and that is because all those Phoenixes were active on the map taking down Overlords. He goes into Lair right now, but we have the Forge finally here for Hurricane, but there comes the attack on the third base. The Roach is coming out and a lot of Zerglings. He should be able to hold this.
Yeah, he should be able to hold it. He needs a little bit more time for more Roaches because he doesn't have the gas. But with a few more seconds, he should be able to get a significant amount of Roaches out. And we'll probably see a recall here.
Gets the Queens here. At least he gets one. Nice force fields against those Zerglings. The second Queen is down, and he kills the third two.
Spore Crawler targeting the Mothership Core.
Okay, realizes it. And Symbol loses quite a lot here, especially losing those Queens is a problem.
Yeah, he needs to recall. Doing what Genius could not, and takes a supply lead. Worker count right now, even, 42 to 41. Just made 4 more to 46, but he had to use a lot of Larva on defending the attack, so that's the idea here. Hydralistan, a really good response now, because he knows that the robotics has to be delayed.
That's a very delayed robotics indeed, and with the Hydralist he could also try to use the timing here. So the tech is decent for Symbol, and even though he lost the Queens, this was not too bad. He already has that third base. He needs to get the extra Queens out as fast as possible to make sure that his production is still on par. But that could have gone a lot worse for Symbol. So the opening for him, quite successful.
Yeah. I wonder what the response for Hurricane is going to be next, because he makes even another Phoenix here, and he wants to take a third base, but It's almost as if he expects Mutas to come out. I find it strange he's now gone up to 6 Phoenixes. That was
a weird macro hatch.
He's like, macro hatch? Nah.
Okay.
I'm not going to need more larva for Hydralisk.
Wants to take a 4th, but the drone is being picked up. The Phoenix is heading into the main base, trying to find another queen to take out.
I think the reason, or one thing we can maybe deduce from the fact that he canceled that macro hatch is that he wants to do a Hydra timing specifically, because otherwise the macro hatch would make a lot more sense. The larva that he gets from macro hatch is not going to make him... He's limited not by larva with his Hydras, he's limited by his resources.
Oh, we've seen a lot of aggression on this map with Hydralisk times. The problem is that if you can't take down the 3rd, then you kind of lose it. And with the 4th, that would have helped Symbol a lot, but now he doesn't have neither the macro hatch nor the 4th. There comes the drone in, finally putting down that additional hatch. Hydralisk is already being built. I don't really see him moving out with that and trying to hit a timing here. It's already a little bit too late. He didn't go into the speed upgrade first, but started with the range.
Yeah, there's the Spire. A little bit late on these Overlords. It's not going to matter too much. Because he can still make a few more drones, and he's not going to be making any attacking units right now, but he was supply blocked temporarily there.
Symbol has a lot of resources, of course. He really wants to save that up to go into the Spire tech there, just baiting his opponent a little bit with the units on the map, working up a huge bank that he can later use to just switch his tech immediately. A few upgrades coming out, but so far he didn't start any upgrades except for the Hydralisk upgrades. We don't see +1 armor or attack. Instead, he really wants to dedicate the resources later on to his units. So very late evolution chambers here for him.
Yeah, at first I thought the idea here was bait the Colossus tech with the Hydralisk and then go into Mutas to surprise him. And now with the Hydra's speed coming out in the late evolution chambers, I'm not even really sure exactly what he's going to do. I don't think he's going to max out on Mutas just yet, especially not with these Phoenixes here, but he has the possibility to do that later. And I think he's just kind of covering all his bases.
Well, one of the Phoenix is getting a little bit too overexcited here, going down. Spire is nearly completed. Phoenixes are running into Hydralisk if they are not careful here. Just barely able to survive here. Nice movements here.
Yeah.
Good control.
And right now, the reply by Hurricane is just his own catch-all. He's getting Void Ray, only off of 1 Stargate coming out. He's also getting the Colossi, Blink. He can start +2 attack pretty soon because he has that Twilight Council now.
And here we go, 12 Mutalisks are being built. A lot of Mutalisk against this. He knows that there's only 1 Stargate for Hurricane at this point in time. But this is a very close game still. The Mutalisk commitment here is huge. So. Yeah. This all comes down to control, this comes down to position. Can Symbol pin his opponent down to the bottom left of the map? This is going to be a very exciting game. He's getting base after base. He already wants to spread out his hatches, so if there is a base race scenario, that he will get the upper hand.
He's also getting the upgrades for his Hydralisk right now too, so just keep in mind...
He's even getting a 6th base. Yeah. Not only the 5th, he's really expanding everywhere.
Yeah, so he's basically taking all sorts of bases. And... right now, additional Stargates are being added. He's realized the Mutalisks are on the way. Only goes into 1 more Stargate here. And, you know, this is not enough. That 1 Void Ray looking a little bit silly here.
That was Symbol moving in, seeing a Soul Void Ray and being like, Furnace T! Yeah. Took him down.
Well, he needs more Phoenixes, and Blink is nearly ready.
Talking about more, look at the production tab Mutalisk count being increased by 10 in just a few seconds.
These Zealots will... you know, I don't know if he can actually get that hatchery. I don't think so. With the Mutas already on the way over, it's going to be close. I don't think he gets it, though. He can come in for a 2nd wave later and finish it off.
Of course, in addition to the Stargate, we also see now the fleet being so that he can go into the upgrade, but this is really a massive commitment, and I feel that Symbol is actually going to do what I thought Lucky would. Yes, he's going into Corruptors. Really good choice, I like this. He's going into Mutalisk Corruptor against those Phoenixes. I was surprised to see Lucky not do it against Genius. He won the game in the end, but this is the more normal response that you have.
This Nexus, can he hold on? You know, he's trying to wear it down. Gets a Phoenix there, and the Stalker's playing forward, catching a few of these units. And I have to say though, Hurricane, even though he's in a position where the Mutalisk caught him off guard at first, he is stabilizing decently well. A little bit surprised he doesn't get any additional Stargates, so now after seeing this many mutas, he might want a third one.
I mean, he has a decent defense. He has those cannons, and he didn't really suffer any losses just yet. So for now, this is not too bad. This is just very much on the edge right now.
Yeah.
And both players are doing a good, decent job with their micromanagement, going into the unit control here, sniping a Phoenix, sniping a Mutalisk, always just having this dance between each other. But we don't have the Anion Pulse Crystals just yet. That upgrade is going to come into play very soon. But so far, Symbol can still fight against the Phoenixes without having too much trouble here.
There's the Warp Prism I was about to mention, but now, and there it goes. There it was for just a second. He needs to do something about those bases on the right side of the map, because defending alone is not going to win them this game. You know, to win, you must also attack. That's how wars are fought. And
that is very effective here, taking down so many of these harvesters. The Mothership Core is also gone.
See,
and
just
now,
2 prongs. Hydra's on the right, Muta's on the left.
and he can snipe the Nexus.
He'll get it for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he gets it and moves out. Losing 1 or 2 Mutalisks is definitely worth sniping the base. And the bank that your Symbol is currently working up helps him too. The Hydralisk still a threat to the right side of the map. The rest of the units for Hurricane have to move over. And Symbol, he just continues to produce Mutalisks and upgrades for them.
And he's not done with the attack. Goes in here against the gateways. With the Corruptors here, even with the Anion Pulse Crystals he's fighting. Mutalisk control here, he decides to fight. I meant to say Phoenix control. I feel that could have been a lot better.
Well, actually, he has the corruption here on those Phoenixes and he takes down the Stalkers. The problem is this additional round of warp-ins, but I feel that he might just have enough. The Stalkers are going down, and you know, he can trade. He has the better economy.
He has the much better economy. He's making more Corruptors behind this. He will actually not be able to kill the Nexus just yet, but that was a good trade for him. He killed all the Stalkers. That's what counts. The Phoenixes here, of course, will try to gun down those mutas.
They will get a few of them, but the +2 attack upgrade is on the way, and as I mentioned earlier, with the economy, nice, moving just back, and for a second Hurricane not paying attention, losing 1 or 2 Phoenix because of it. But the bank comes into play, a 50 supply lead and still more resources than his opponent, just not stopping with the production of Corruptors and Mutalisks. Symbol is playing this game exactly as he needs to, and Hurricane is struggling.
Yeah. If he had the Stalkers from before alive, this would be a very different scenario. But now he has to remake more Phoenixes, but also remake his Nexi and get the Stalkers out. He's trying to do a lot here all at once, whereas Symbol's just sitting back and relaxing like he's in an armchair in the sun, because he has the economy. And he can trade, like you said, and he continues to do so.
Still the 50 supply lead here, 6 bases, another base to the top left. Now suddenly the switch to the ground attack, taking down the Stalkers, and with the Stalkers gone, the Mutalisks will shine. There's so many Corruptors now that the few Phoenixes that are being built for Hurricane are not going to be enough to stop them. And the problem for Hurricane just is that he can't move out, he's just stuck at the bottom left. Yeah,
he's trapped, he's pinned, and Phoenix is trying to do their best here, but you know, they can chase the mutas away for a few seconds, but all the bounce damage, killing so many probes here. Worker count right now down to 47 for Hurricane. And even just a few Corruptors at the front tanks the damage, so the mutas can get just 1 or 2 shots off, and that's all he needs.
Every unit that he takes down here counts, so important for him. The Mutalisk numbers, they just increase. The one limiting resource is gas, but with all those extra satellite bases the Symbol sets up, he can take the Extractors and just mine a little bit of gas from them, and then he will be fine. An additional starport now coming into play for Hurricane. He certainly has the resources to pull that off, at least he has the income, but Symbol is even getting the second Spire now because he wants to get the extra upgrades.
And he's banking all of his resources, or pouring all of his resources and minerals into the Zerglings.
To be honest with you, it's a little bit surprising to me to see the second Spire because he doesn't have the Hive and he's already on +2 attack, so...
Yeah, he could just start armor by itself here.
Yeah.
Maybe he thinks he has Hive, because he certainly does not. I just checked it. And right now, to be honest, Hurricane is fighting the good fight here, and he is stabilizing a little bit, but the problem is he needs to send a Warp Prism out, he needs to do damage, but with this many mutas, can you really justify sending a Warp Prism across the map? He doesn't have the economy to warp in like 8 Zealots. If he warps in 4, the mutas are just going to defend.
Can you click on the Spire and tell me where it is?
Yeah, I'll find that for you.
Is he spreading that out? No, that's the other one. The one that he's building. Because I'm wondering if that is just a precaution in case his main base gets attacked, or in case there is a...
Well, they're both right next to each other, so I guess not. But, you know, that is a good idea. Oh! Another Nexus gets sniped here.
Yeah, and he still has a couple of units up to the top left, but here comes the Infestation Pit for the Hive Tech. And once again, the numbers are just in favor of Symbol, but Hurricane is actually decentish trying to close the supply gap, but the resources, just the gap that we have here is immense.
Yeah. Infestation Pit is done, and also the Templar Archives coming out here too, but all it's going to take, by the way, is one fungal for this game to be over.
Yeah.
If he hits it right.
It's not only the fungals, it's like, I feel that the Infestation Pit is only for the Hive, and there it is, the tech. We have 13 additional Mutalisks now being built. He doesn't need to just gamble it on a fungal, he can just play this solid with the Corruptors and the Mutalisks. He is just going to starve him. He's simply going to starve him out.
Oh, this is such a tense game, but I think that at this point, Tyr he's crying his eyes dry right now because he can't re-secure his 4th. There's no way. There's too many Lings.
He's fighting a losing battle here.
Yeah.
And he knows it. He's losing bases every time he moves out. He needs to do counter-aggression, but how can he do it against this map dominance that Symbol is showcasing? He's getting more upgrades for his Mutalisk and Corruptors going into armor now. The Hive Tech will allow him to go into 3-3. Also the 3rd attack upgrade, of course, here. And even more damage done at the natural, at the 3rd base. Every time just starting in from a different angle.
He's tripling the Harvester count right now. It's 74 to 25. I mean, he's got these Mutalisks cornered a little bit, but I just... Time is on Symbol's side here.
Yep. Symbol has a 70 supply lead, and it's just the economy for him. I'm a little bit surprised that he doesn't take more extractors at those satellite bases, but he just escapes with the Mutalisk, and now he's doing what you said earlier. He's going now into the Infestors. He was like, okay, this is starting to get a little bit silly here with the Corruptors and the Mutalisk. I have now the economy that I need. I have Mutalisk number that are ridiculous. If you come close to them, I will fungal you, and then that will end the game instantly.
There are, by the way, 11 Spine Crawlers on the map, and there's the fungal. And this is all he needs. Boom. Gets just 2, 2, and then 2. And now we can actually chase the Phoenixes to the other side of the Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, if he gets them all the way to the edge of the map, where's he going to run to then?
Archons are now going to be built, but that's a little bit too late. That is not going to help him with a decent... Unless he clumps it up like crazy, but even with a one-shot that would work. So, yeah, I just do not see this happening. The army supply with 115 might be very similar for both of them, but it's just the economy that is in tatters.
Yeah. The Archons can only do so much for him here. Even if he kills almost all the Mutas, Symbol can remax with Lings, Hydras, Roaches, whatever he wants, because he has some of the ground upgrades too.
Just look at this, like he has Zerglings everywhere, Hurricane cannot move out, he cannot really defend, he needs to defend against ground and air. Symbol with a beautiful play, going in 10 additional Mutalisks, going for double upgrades. This is just such an annoying style that he's playing here, and Hurricane, I mean, he's a solid player, but in this game, he just can't hold a candle to Symbol.
Yeah.
Additional 13 Mutalisks, oh my god.
That's putting him up to 41, and I gotta say, I almost feel like the reason why Hurricane's still in this game is to just try to annoy Symbol and get in his head a little bit, because he's already thinking about the next player that FXOpen is going to send out. Here come those Archons, but the thing is, there's so many Spine Crawlers already. Yeah. Even if he goes for the base trade, I don't see him winning it. The Infestor's probably going to be lifted here.
As the Mutalisk numbers increase, Protoss players all over the world feel that rage building up in them. Mutalisks are moving in right now, taking more victims. The Archons are gone. The Mutalisks prevail. GG. And Symbol has tied the score and forced the last player for Team FXO out.
Really nice magic boxing on those Archons. And we are going to the ace match. I expected this match to be close. And you know what? It's almost like it's my birthday present. This day is my birthday, and I get to see the ace match.
I feel SC.
You know,
traditionally we would say Gumiho. Traditionally it has to be Gumiho. I feel today we will see SC.
I would pick him. If it were me making the choice, I would pick SC. But for some reason, I feel like it's still going to be Gumiho. I feel like Choya will pick Gumiho because he has the experience. He's been last a lot.
The traditional choice would have been Gumiho, and let's not forget that when we were in Busan, Gumiho all killed Slayers back then, so he's really successful. But I feel that in the recent games that we saw, SC proved himself to be a little bit stronger. So a Terran, either way.
It could be either, but it will be one of the two.
Yeah.
Now, I think everybody would have a heart attack and fall out of their chair if suddenly it was the best or something like that.
Choya plays
Choya plays. He just stands up. He takes off his vest, and underneath is the team jersey.
Choya stands up, pushes Oz back in the seat, and walks into... No, wait, that was a different match.
Oz is like, what? He's like, I can't play in GSTL. Like, I'm playing in Kesper League. What is going on?
Okay, so a Terran player. Either way, SC or Gumiho. Most likely going to be Gumiho since he is the traditional choice, but we could also see SC coming into the booth, stepping it up right now, but it comes down to the last match today, as expected.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, I feel Gumiho is the choice that Choya will make here. And that's just my experience as a team league commentator now for years, and knowing that that's probably what he's going to do. But like you said, the possibility of SC is there. He's my pick. He's who I would probably call upon based on my knowledge of the results, not on my knowledge of what's going on inside the team house right now.
I would vote for SC, but I expect Gumiho to be chosen now. And who's it going to be?
It's SC. They choose SC.
Me likey.
I like this a lot. This is everything comes down to this one game on Icarus. He chooses Icarus as the map. So this could all end in a fiery crash, one way or the other.
I like this really a lot. I did not expect this to happen, to be quite frank with you. I thought they would rely on Gumiho, just going for the traditional player, but this choice makes a lot of sense, and I like it. That is really good. That's going to be a strong match that we are going to see next.
Yeah, absolutely so. By the way, tell your friends that this match is going on live at GOMTV.net. Get everybody in here. Make sure you tell everybody press the HQ button so that you can actually get into it, because if you go to just GOMTV.net, you'll also find the Twitch stream, which I believe is still down. So just make sure you let everybody know this is going on.
This is going to be intense. This is going to be really intense. I like it a lot that we see SC. I really thought they would pick Gumiho, and there's the camera on him just because he is the traditional player for them to pick it up. Symbol is strong against Terran. He lost to Innovation, but he took down opponents like Bomber, and also Gumiho in the past might also have been playing a big role here, that he was not successful against Symbol in in Code S. That might have to do a lot with the choice here. But yeah, in the heart of the swarm, SC, I feel just the better choice. Lino not looking too happy here right now. He's nodding his head and being like, yeah, he can do it. Ah, it's going to be so good.
This is going to be so good. It's all down to this. There's no words for how exciting this is.
This is going to be really, really good. Okay, the last match, guys. The last game of the day. Who is going to take it? Will we have Symbol with a win for Team AZUBU, or is SC going to edge out the last victory for FXOpen and give them the lead that they need to go into the last match day to make sure that they have a good position to get into the playoffs? This season, the regular season, is nearly come to an end.
Yeah. This is end times. You lose this match, it's not in your control, and especially for AZUBU, who has to play against MVP next. Definitely going to be a shaky follow-up here.
And whoever wins here gets one additional indicator. That would put FXO on +1 and AZUBU on +2. Whoever wins today. AZUBU, if they win, would actually be a little bit ahead of StarTale. And FXOpen, if it is, would be exactly tied with StarTale, not only in match wins, but also in the indicator.
Yeah.
Well, time to go into the game. Come on, guys. I want to see that match.
Something happened to SC. He had to rejoin the lobby, I believe. So looks like he's ready now.
I can't wait to see this. Icarus of all maps. I mean, this is one of those maps where you see so many just timing, so many pushes. It's difficult to take a third base for the Zerg play because it's so far away. This is just really crazy. It comes down to a map like this. SC must have a strategy here. He had a lot of time to think about what he's going to do against Symbol if Hurricane is not able to win it. Now we are going into the last match of the day. FXOpen up against Team AZUBU. It is Symbol versus SC at the GSTL of Caldon Wolf.